So a bit of an update for you. Just spoke to the local commander. He tells me that the hotel now is being prepared to accept asylum seekers. So the rumours are true. It's a pity that some of the police officers didn't know, some did know, and absolutely furious. This hotel here, by the way, I mean, it must cost a couple £100 a night to stay there. Most normal people in this country would not even be able to afford to come and stay here for a weekend, but we've got illegals coming, and hope the protesters remain peaceful and don't get to bother. They seem like a quiet bunch at the moment, but you know, let's hope it's all peaceful.
I work for a local charity here on the Isle of Dogs, and I have done for 42 years. Okay, we serve over 1,000 people a week in the food bank, and the majority of those are working. Okay, so these people are working, and they still can't afford to come in here. But one night for an anniversary or for a birthday, they can't afford to do that. We have pensioners that are now terrified to even sit in their living room with their windows open. They need it closed because they're frightened. These people, whether it's scaremongering, we're not sure. But people are frightened now of being in their own homes, okay? The school holidays have started. The children have now broken up from school, so the kids are out on the street where they should be. They should be out there playing. Parents should not be terrified that their children are out and could be molested, approached, spoken to by people who have no passports, have no identity, whose culture is completely different to ours, who has no respect for women and children, okay? These are people that we haven't invited, and we haven't paid or said that we contribute towards them staying here, okay? This has been put on to us. Now, having spoken to the councillors, Mayor Rahman and Aspire and all the councillors were not aware of what was going on today. That was a deal done between the government and the Britannia Hotel, okay? So what will happen is, because it's a very, very large Bangladeshi community here, and we've basically integrated, took a long time, but we've basically integrated. If any one of these guys approach them, I'm warning you now, the Bangladeshi community will uprise. They will uprise, and you should not ever swamp an area with one group of people. If you've got 550 rooms there, they're double up, which is 1,100 young fighting men who could have stayed in their country and fought like we are here, fighting to keep what they believe in. And we've got them going to be out on the streets. We've got Canary Wharf, affluent shops, right, for the picking. You go in there, you nick anything you want to nick. Who are you? You haven't got a passport, you've got no identity. Where do you find these people? It's fear. It's absolutely fear. And I admire every single one of these people out here. They're standing there quietly and they're protesting quietly to say enough is enough. And what you've done is just transferred Epping to the Isle of Dogs, and I'm telling you, Isle of Dogs won't put up with it, and it'll just be moved on and on and on. And I do feel sorry for the police, because a lot of the police are probably local boys. But
do you think there'd be such an outcry if the country was in a better state? So if NHS waiting lists were down, or there was public money and public services were working, do you think people would be so affronted that people have getting to stay in a hotel?
Just let me put it clearly.
People are struggling now, aren't they?
People are really struggling. You have a lifeboat that holds 300 people, that has 300 supplies, and you put 600 in it, it will sink. And that is what's happening here. You cannot keep pandering our services, our health service. Nobody here. I bet if you went along there and said, when was the last time you went to the dentist? I bet 1 out of 10 will say 2 weeks ago. Nobody has an appointment. Everything is online since the COVID, so that's nothing to do with these guys, okay? But basically, you can't get an appointment. You can't get a dentist appointment, right?
Doctor's appointment,
everything. It's all caving in.
and
and I mean, these guys here I have never seen so many police on the Isle of Dogs in one hit. Never.
Why do you think there's so many police? I've counted 12
Because
vans
they
on the way
fear
down.
what is happening to Epping, right? That's what they fear. These people here are families, their husbands and wives, and they've got no intentions of causing any aggravation at all. If that happens, it's from people outside. I can swear by that, right? I witness it every day. I have worked for that charity for 42 years. I don't know how to integrate these people. You tell me where do I start integrating these men into this community? Yeah, I've been doing it for 42 years. I haven't got a clue where to start. I don't know how many of them speak English. I don't know what their backgrounds are. None of us do.
So is your concern, is it mainly out of fear, or is it that it disrupts the community, that there's the lack of cultural integration?
It's a combination. It's a combination. Yes, it's fear, because it's fear of the unknown. We don't know what's going to happen.
For our loved ones, for our relatives, to be able to walk the streets safely like we do now.
Yeah.
That's just going to put pressure on that.
With the Isle of Dogs, it's a unique place. The Isle of Dogs is on one way, out the other way.
It's an island.
It's an island, okay? And everybody knows everybody else. If his children was to go too far, someone would tell them to go back, right? That's how it is. So I know it is what somebody said on the television last night, a tinderbox waiting to happen. And I'd hate it to happen here.
Are you worried that this might be the spark?
This probably will be the spot. Listen.
What would the spark be? Would that be a crime? Would it be an assault? Would it be...
Well, just be honest here. You've been here all this time. People are standing here. No one's screaming, no one's shouting, no one's calling, no political, yet they're throwing eggs. What is that telling you? They are throwing eggs. No one is shouting up at these. No one's being racial. They are throwing eggs. So what does that say to you? They have no intentions whatsoever of integrating with this local community. And it's terrifying. It is terrifying.
So what's your understanding, Alex, of what's happening at the moment?
Well, as we've heard yesterday, the Britannia Hotel at Canary Wharf is the latest hotel to be requisitioned by the Home Office for housing illegal migrants. And just moving people around on a chessboard isn't the solution to this. This is only happening because Keir Starmer has failed to smash the gangs, he's failed to stop the boats, and is not deporting those people who've got no right to be here. This needs to change.
What do you think of what happened yesterday with people gathering outside, protesters?
I completely understand why people are unhappy. They've come here to protest because they're not happy. It's been foisted on them in their community with no consultation and no democracy. It's the same in Epping, where they had elections cancelled. It's all very well saying should take part in the democratic process. You can't do that if there aren't elections to do that. So people are upset. They've got great concerns about risks to their safety of their children, and they're having their say. And obviously, completely abhor any kind of violence, disorder, that kind of thing. But people have got to have the right to be heard, and if that means standing outside here and saying what they think, I'm all for it.
Why do you come down here today?
I've come down here just to find out what's going on, really. Obviously I saw the coverage yesterday. I wanted to come down and see for myself, that's why I'm here.
Do you fear more hotels in London are going to end up like this, with people outside them and protesters or people inside?
I think it's inevitable. The longer this crisis goes on, and it is a crisis, the longer it goes on, the more people are going to be upset and the more it's going to happen. These hotels have got to be closed down. Now, Labour have promised that by the time of the next election, they will have stopped using hotels. We'll very much be holding them to account on that. But the next question is, where do they move them after that? Will it be HMOs? Will it be on your street? Who knows? What has to happen is the numbers have to be brought down. We need to stop the pull factors. We need to stop incentivising the people, traffickers to bring people here. And we need to make it clear that if you enter this country illegally, you will not be allowed to stay.
Do you fear an escalation, maybe violent confrontations here or elsewhere in London?
I certainly hope not, because I say people have got to have the right to be heard, but they should do it through peaceful means. Use the ballot box when they have the chance. Use protests, use petitions, write to your MPs, that kind of thing. We don't want violence, we don't want disorder, but we do want to be heard.
What would reform do to combat this issue?
First thing we would do is we would actually stop the boats. We can turn back the boats under the Convention of the Law of the Sea, and we will stop those pull factors, stop it being so attractive to come here in the first place, and make it very, very clear, if you enter the country illegally, you are breaking the law, you will not be allowed to stay.
That include the ECHR withdrawing from that?
I think we have to. I welcome the intervention this week from Suella Braverman. I think some really interesting ideas about the steps of how we actually deliver that. So we need to move on beyond just mere sloganising and actually put that into practice. And no party's got a monopoly on good ideas. Welcome Suella's contributions.
Could Suella be on the brink of joining the party, do you think?
Oh, that's above my pay grade. I can't comment on that, I'm afraid.